But hold fire because we have a guest online. His name is Booga Beazley. Good afternoon, Booga.
Hey Tina, how's things?
I am not bad. But it has been a sad day. A very sad day, I think. But it's interesting how the death of someone like Ozzy Osbourne can turn into a moment of reflection and I wouldn't say celebration, but definitely a look at his life. Now, how I understand that you have a huge knowledge of Osbourne. So how did that all come about?
Long story, really. When I first started getting into metal bands and that, like Ozzy Osbourne was a real fascination for me, even though I'd never listened to his music.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Lower Hutt, and I always used to go into the record store in Lower Hutt, and I'd look at all the cassettes on the wall and some of the vinyl, and I always used to look at Bark at the Moon and just think, what possibly, would this man do when he's not in that get-up? What sort of music is this? And I'd do the same thing with Metallica, Master of Puppets. I'd look on the back and say, they're a bunch of pimply thousands of people. Like, who are these people? And I never had the balls to buy a tape, because at that point I was listening to David Bowie and stuff like that, so I hadn't been introduced to it. But as soon as I was introduced to Ozzy, it was just a match made in heaven for me, my best friend Nigel Regan, he owned a Capri and he lived in Lower Hutt, and we'd cruise around Lower Hutt basically smoking Thai sticks every day, listening to Sabbath and just reveling in how amazing Ozzy and Sabbath were.
Yeah.
And that was even before Ozzy, I hadn't even realised he'd left, Sabbath, as I was listening. And I was like, oh, okay, so now he's solo. And yeah, that's where it all started for me.
Yeah. Now, did you have something to do with a tribute to him?
Yeah, we did a tribute thing a few years ago now with a few mates of mine. We did I think it was about 4 shows.
Yeah. So you're obviously a musician in your own right.
Yeah, I mean, some say I'm the Ozzy Osbourne of New Zealand, but I didn't say it. It's quite a funny comment, when someone says that. I just take that, tongue in cheek, really.
You haven't bitten the head off a bat, though, have you?
Not recently. No.
So, in terms of his music, what influence has he really had on the music scene, or did he have on the music scene?
Oh, he's huge, mate. He was the godfather of metal, basically. When you listen to the early Sabbath interviews, they were thinking, what sort of music can we play? Let's play some music, that sort of sounds a bit like horror movie type stuff. The way he sung, as soon as Ozzy sings, you know exactly who it is straight away.
Yep.
He may not be the best singer in the world, but his tone is amazing. The way they mix him on the albums, he's fantastic, He is, one of the final, there's only a handful of these great rockers left in the world, and it's just sort of sad, It's inevitable, he had Parkinson's, but, where have all these people going to be, they're going to be around forever, but are there any new ones coming through? Where are they?
Yeah, yeah. And when you were one of the forming members of Head Like a Hole, which I certainly remember, and so did you draw lots on his music at the time? And what were the bits of it? What were the elements of it that really that you used in your sound?
I just thought he was a great front man. He always had the audience in the palm of his hands. And he always wore freaky costumes. Every tour he would have a new look. He's just an incredible frontman, for me.
Yeah, and that was the thing that you put into your acts too, was that sort of showmanship.
Yeah, that sort of developed over top of my singing skill in the early days because I realised I couldn't really sing that well. So I just compensated by wearing stupid outfits and jumping around like an idiot.
Yeah.
But then, with 5 years under your belt, you realise you can actually belt out a few tunes and hold the right tone and pitch, and you're away.
Yeah, yeah. And just in terms of your favourite music of Ozzy's, what was it?
First two albums with Randy Rhoads,
Yeah.
phenomenal. I adore Randy Rhoads and his guitar playing.
Yeah.
You just can't match it. The tribute record, incredible. I mean, I like basically everything that Ozzy has done, sort of up to The Ultimate Sin. After The Ultimate Sin, it's sort of Zakk Wylde, they started writing highly commercial stuff.
They did, didn't they?
Great, but
yeah.
Once the Osbournes hit, he just became mainstream, and
Yeah.
dicks like Paris Hilton started wearing his T-shirts. That really annoyed me. But
I must admit it was interesting because I was doing a little bit of research for this because, I mean, metal's not my thing. I'm a country and western girl. But it was really interesting just to see the progression of that sort of heavy, angry, anti-Vietnam, in-your-face, hard-ass stuff of the early years. And then right at the end, it was sort of like an old crooner.
Yeah, totally. I loved, what I loved about Ozzy was his continual look at life and death.
Yes.
Where do you go after death?
Yeah.
Well, he knows now,
But he can't tell us. That's the problem.
No, unfortunately. I know I'm being jovial. It's very sad. And when the first thing I heard when I woke up this morning was my wife reached over because she's addicted to her iPhone, as we all are, and said, "I've got some terrible news for you." And It was like, Ozzy's dead. And I was upset, but not really upset. But it wasn't until I jumped in the car and put on "You Can't Stop Rock." You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Oh, that's Twisted Sister. What is it? I can't even remember now.
One of the good tunes.
You can't kill rock and roll.
Can't kill rock and roll.
What am I talking about?
Yeah.
And that actually brought a real tear to my eye. Then I was talking to a friend of mine, and on the phone, and it was sort of like a video call, and I said, "Are you laughing or crying?" And he said, "Both."
Yeah.
And it just really made me sad.
Yeah, no, it's good. He's got and the other thing I did is I thought, I wonder what his last thing, and I'd heard about it, and I thought, I wonder what this last concert was like. Holy moly. I mean, the stadium was sold out, and that was a amazing stage. Yeah. Oh my goodness, talk about the showman, even though he couldn't bloody move. I mean, sitting on that throne, and actually, it was interesting to see the reactions of the audience. They were sad because, and it wasn't because of this lack of strength of his voice. I think it was just sad because I think they knew this was the last time they were going to see the bugger, really.
Yes, yeah. It was almost like he's sitting in that throne and someone off the side of the stage was going to push the big red button and down to hell he went,
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So do you reckon you're gonna get out there and do any more tributes to him in the next wee while, just to celebrate the life and death?
I've always wanted to have another bash at that tribute with the guys I did it with, because when I did that, unfortunately, the first night in Hawke's Bay when we were driving there, I said, "I've got a sore throat," and I said, "This can't be happening." And then I went to the doctor and he said, "You've got strep throat."
Oh shit!
And I sort of ruined my whole. I wasn't at my full singing capabilities, especially for the Aussie, pitch that you need. So I'd love to do something like that again. Even with Head Like a Hole, I'd seriously contemplate doing a cover.
Yeah. I think you'd get a lot of people turning up just to listen to that.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So, what's anything you're going to do specially today to mark his passing?
I've just been listening to his music really all day long, and if I was a heavy drinker, I'd probably drunk a couple of bottles of whiskey by now, but not really into that. And so just listening to the music and thinking about it, looking at stuff online, and
Yep. No, I get that. Hey, look, thanks very much for having a chat to us. Someone who actually understood Ozzy, Booga Beazley, who is the frontman for Head Like a Hole, which many Kiwis know about, and is often referred to Well, you referred to it by quite a number of different monikers over the years, so I'm not going to go down that
How
path.
many names are there?
Definitely a rock icon, and it was interesting. And I was talking to Hugh Barlow today, who was jacking this interview up for us. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I've got Booga Beazley for you."
Yeah, who the hell's calling me at this hour?
Hugh. He gets around, that fella. He knows a lot of people. He sure does. Hey, Booga, look, thank you very much for your time. And, I think we'll all be listening to a little bit of Ozzy Osbourne tonight. There was one of the, don't say this, we say it a lot, but it doesn't often mean much, but he was definitely one of a kind. Definitely one of a kind.
The best, mate. I reckon there'll be plenty of people flying high tonight as a tribute.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time. And that was Booga Beazley. Booga Beazley, he is the lead singer for, or was the lead singer for A Head Like a Hole. And he, in his own right, here in New Zealand, is a well-known musician. So that was it was great to have a talk to him about that. He's also a tattoo artist, and he plies his trade out there on the Kapiti Coast at a place called Zardoz Tattoo Studio. See, there you go. That's what happens to old rockers. They go and start doing playing with a bit of ink.